Well, I'm pretty sure that vulture knows how to build a nest. It's kind of nest better than a hornbill. Hornbill, you don't even build a nest. You just use a hole in the tree. That's lazy. You should be taking... Well, maybe the hornbill's here looking for architectural advice on how to build a nest. I think we've seen this pair of vultures before, as we are on Philemon's cut line. I haven't, unfortunately, spent too much time with them, but I know that... I think when I just got back to work, Steve and them were coming around here and having a little look at them. So I don't know if there's a chicken there. Obviously, it's very difficult to try and see what's going on in that nest, but a nice big platform nest, and it will constantly just keep building. I wonder if that's the female on the top branch giving advice as to where to place that stick. Now, Carol, I don't necessarily think so, that it's late to be making a nest. As far as I'm aware, and I do stand under correction, whiteback vultures normally sort of build anywhere from, I don't know, probably end of March, April, up to about July, August, somewhere around there, as far as I understand. So I don't know if they've laid any eggs yet. The fact that they're still prepping the nest suggests to me that maybe they're working on their final touches before they typically do lay their eggs. Maybe they want to make sure that it's absolutely perfect. And I'm sure that these vultures use their nests over and over again, kind of like fish eagles. Maybe there's a couple scattered around here. But you can see them. Look at that. That's incredible. Not using their feet, though. I thought they would have used their feet a little bit more and to try and help maneuver those branches around, but perhaps those stubby toes that typically inhibit vultures from hunting are also not too great to sort of help wedge those sticks in. Kind of looks like we're just watching the same scene, though. Oh no, we're getting the evil eye from the vulture now. It looks like they've what did you just say about my nest? Wisteria, it is a big nest. Hey, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to get too much bigger than this. I think they're just sort of adding, like I said, the final sort of touches. I know with a fish eagle nest, after a couple of years, they can hold the weight of about 70 kilograms, which is exceptional. I don't know if that's the same for a vulture. I'm not sure as to how much weight that nest can carry, but it is fairly large. Remember, they're building platform nests. So lots and lots of sticks. Man, I wish we could get up there. Now, they don't normally lay too many eggs, anywhere between 1 and 3, but of course we know the chances of all 3 surviving is, very, very, very slim. You might find that only 1 would be able to survive. But that's really, really cool. That's amazing. I'm just trying to think. I wonder what the incubation period is. I mean, most birds, it's typically anywhere between a month and 2 months, maybe because it's a bigger bird. It needs a bit more time to develop, so I'm going to go and say maybe about 2 months will be the incubation period. So we'll keep an eye out on this nest. Again, I don't think how we maneuver is going to make a difference in seeing inside that nest, but if we get the drone up and running at some point, it would be nice to maybe hover quite high above it, or to come and check if there's no adults in the nest, then perhaps, you go over and investigate and not to disturb them. So that could potentially be something quite cool to keep an eye out for. Wow, we're having a lot of luck today, Hevium. We really are. Now, obviously we know vultures are scavengers, and they are relying on animals to die either naturally or to be brought down by a predator of sorts, and then they will sort of feast on them. Now, I'm just trying to think of what would harm those eggs all the way up in the top of that marula tree. So, Jonathan, anything like a rock monitor. Rock monitors are exceptional climbers and could very, very easily go all the way up the trunk of the tree and make its way to the tops of the branches. Some snakes that feast on eggs, or even when those eggs hatch, if they are successful, then you'll get other birds and again snakes also feasting upon them. So there are a lot of things that they can still make its way up into the tree and potentially harm the eggs or the young chicks once they have hatched. Very cool, though. Okay, well, at least we know it's here, and it's kind of out in the open. Awesome. Right, let us continue. Very nice. Thank you, vultures. All the birds have been kind, hey? African green pigeons. African grey hornbills. Did I just hear correctly? Did James just say, no, did Rebecca Black just say James has a snake? I don't know. Let's go see. Snake?
No, you didn't hear correctly. I have a snail. A snail, not a snake. A snail. And this, everybody, is a giant land snail. An enormous snail. Giant it is. Do you see how giant it is, Gendry? Now, it's not very giant, of course, because it is a baby land snail. And it's just putting out its little horns. And apparently I look like the giant from Gulliver's Travels now. That is definitely the very first time anyone has ever said to me, you look like a giant. Thank you, Rebecca. Now, while we wait for it to come out, I will tell those of the uninitiated that they will, of course, get to about that size. So I would say roughly close to 60 or 70 times the size of this little thing. Tiny little thing. Don't often see them. Let's see if he comes out. Sticking his little horns out. A couple of cocked-tailed ants running past him. And I was just saying to Gendry, this time of year really is the best time of year weather-wise in the Lowveld. The edge of the heat has come off the summer, and so while it's going to be warm today, verging on hottish, be probably about 30 degrees or so, which is about 70, is it 75? 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It really will not be, or 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It won't be unpleasant at all. And if you heard that growling noise, it wasn't Tandi behind me, but in fact my stomach. Ooh, now Teresa, you ask a very interesting question. You say, how do snails reproduce? Snails are hermaphrodites, which means they have both male and female parts. But as far as I know, they're not, no, in fact they can engage in what they call parthenogenesis, which is to create babies on their own. It's not very common, but does happen apparently. Normally what they will do, though, is walk up next to each other, and then they'll sort of line their feet up. So the bottom of a snail is called the foot. They line their feet up, and they stick together. And then they have this little sort of arrow. It looks like almost like a Cupid's arrow that comes out and sticks into the other one. Some might call that a penis, perhaps, but I don't think you call it a penis on a snail, actually. But it looks like a little arrow that goes out and sticks into the opposite number, and they exchange. What do they exchange? It's not eggs. They'll exchange sperm, like that, and then they lay eggs under the ground, many eggs. I think a giant land snail lays about 20 a session. I might be wrong there. And then out comes something little like this. This one is now rapidly moving. Look at it go, Gendry. I suppose there's something quite zen or meditative about moving or watching a moving snail. So I'm going to lie here and see how long I can stay awake while I watch the snail. Brent Leo Smith is going to tell you about a scavenger from the skies.
Yes, it is the smallest of the vulture scavengers we get here. And I think they are just waiting for the day to warm up, doing a bit of prepping and preening. It is, of course, the hooded vultures. Now, hooded vultures, since we've had wild dogs this morning, in certain parts of Africa, and especially when wild dogs den, hooded vultures will actually stay at the wild dog den and feed off the wild dog feces and also any little bits that are left over from regurgitation. So they almost become resident at wild dog dens when they're around. And along with yellow-billed kites. They were been known to follow packs of dogs from the den out hunting till they make a kill, because of course dogs eat very quickly, but they don't eat the whole carcass. They leave quite a lot of meat behind, and it makes it nice, easy pickings for the vultures and kites that have learned how to follow those dog packs. Now, I just spoke to Peter from Nkoro, and he was saying, we're chatting about the wild dogs that he saw briefly this morning as well. And remember, we showed you those wild dog tracks on Chitwa heading east. He says it is the same pack. Last night they were on vessels. Then they went through Little Gari, through Chitwa, onto Nkoro, into Cheetah Plains, and along the Cheetah Plains Mala boundary, all the way to Triple M, and then up Triple M onto Djuma to where they were found this morning. So that means, since they were left yesterday evening, they've probably done 25 kilometers. That's incredible. Now, wild dogs are well known to move big distances, but that is, even for a dog pack, exceptional. Now, of course, we are now coming towards May, and this is when the dog packs do start really moving big distances as they start looking for a den site. So let's hope they den somewhere close by, or even better, on Djuma itself. Okay, let's... Oh, there's another pretty bird. Oh, it just leapt off. Let me just go forward a bit. Is it going to be... No, it's not playing along. There was a Natal spurfowl that just did a disappearing act. Now, I think it might be worth our while checking the Mawati. I'm just trying to get you a nice view, so you just don't... They're not just sort of these silhouettes. So now we can actually see some of the color. Now, these are both adult hooded vultures. The juvenile hooded vulture, his little furry head cap is dark brown rather than white. And I wonder if this pair has decided to nest here. So they nest along riverbeds like we are at the moment, and their favorite tree to nest in is the African ebony. Now, sometimes they have been known to take over nests from other birds. I'm just trying to have a quick look in this big jackalberry next to us, whether there's any sign of them starting to nest. Okay, let's keep moving. Well, we're going to go check the Mawati, see if there's anything happening there. While we do that, Taylor's got a noisy squirrel.
It's complaining. I think it's complaining about the fact that it is not having boerewors for breakfast. Listen to them. There's like about 6 of them all calling. Who laughs like this in camp? Somebody does. So I think what's going on over here is a bit of a territorial dispute at the moment, because there's lots of squirrels all over, all calling in between one another, as if to say, this tree's mine, this fallen log is mine, don't come and steal my marula nuts, I'll find you. I think that's what's really happening. But this one is sitting so close to the car. Jared, who is one of our technical engineers, said that he thinks it's me that laughs like this. I don't. I cackle. This is not a cackle. I think my laugh is more like a hyena's than anything. And Rebecca's as well. This is louder than mine. Have you? Who's got the loudest laugh in camp? Bex?
Not sure.
I think it's Rebecca.
It's pretty loud.
She's pretty loud. I don't actually think I'm the loudest person in camp. I think everybody forgets about Rebecca. Anyways. Little squirrel? Yes. Oh, apparently Luke, who's D2ing today, says that it's Craig that laughs like a squirrel. Have you heard Craig make those? I've never heard Craig. Craig makes many sounds, not that one though. Look at this little thing on the dashboard. Hello. Quickly, Liam, it's getting away. Oh, it's so cute. It's a little caterpillar, but like probably just hatched out of its little eggs. Looks like it's going to be hairy. Oh, that's so cool. Go, go, go. Now, if this caterpillar was my size, I think it would be faster than Usain Bolt. I think it definitely would give it a run for its money. It's motoring across the dashboard. Go, 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 you can do it. That's really cool. I've never seen a little worm move that quickly in my life. That's really impressive. I would like to put you out. Let me save you. Come. Quickly. Go onto my hand. Yes, and you go. Go, go, go. Sorry, Liam. Yay, you got it. I'm going to get out the car and release it now. Be free. Come on. It's on the leaf somewhere. I don't know. It jumped off of my hand. Right. Yeah, VM, I know. I'm feeling your pain. Jacket off. Always awkward taking my jacket off live though, because sometimes I can't get my arms out. And that's really embarrassing, because you'd think at 25 you'd have learned to be able to take a jacket off. Also going to have to do the jersey just now. Wearing long pants was a big mistake this morning. I should have just gone with my guns and stuck with shorts. Yes, that is what these squirrels are maybe also shouting at. What is it, Liam? It's a raptor. I'm trying to get a view for all of you. We might have to go around. Yes, Liam, I know if I do this, we'll just pretend like we're going somewhere else. I'm going to show you a bird of prey. I'm going to just drive into the logs. Oh, it's a gymnogene. Up on the next branch. Got it. There we go. Hello, Gymnogene. Are you the one that's frightening all the squirrels? Yes. Or did you just come around? Because I'm laughing now. I can't concentrate because I've just been sent a picture of what Brent's shirt looks like today. He has to be his fashion, his taste. I can't believe he was a model sometimes. But I suppose models get dressed, hey?
Yeah,
they don't dress themselves. I cannot wait for James to see Brent's rugby shorts. His new green PT pant. He's going to laugh and probably make sure that Brent never wears them ever again in his life. Anyways, this Gymnogene, however, is very fashionable, wearing latest yellow sunglasses with or paired with a beautiful grey coat, long coat, because you know winter's coming. I'm not talking about Game of Thrones either. Settle. It's just perched up on this marula tree. What you going to do? You're going to... Yep, thought that was going to happen. And beautiful pair of black and white striped leggings. Very nice. Very, very nice. Very fashionable, this bird. Perhaps Brent can take some fashion advice from the birds out here. So I think we're going to have a little vote now. What colour do all of you think Brent's shirt is? Because Rebecca says she's going to go with African green pigeon as a way to describe the colour of Brent's shirt. I'm going to go with lime milkshake. Liam, would you like to have a look at the picture? Yeah, so you can also... What do you think? What colour is that?
Dull neon green.
Dull neon green, says VM. So we've got African green pigeon, lime milkshake, dull neon green, hashtag Safari Live, with what colour you think Brent's shirt is. Or you can also tell us on the YouTube chat. Bye-bye, Gymnogene. Also, actually, all the squirrels went very quiet once that bird flew past. I think they wanted to be spotted. Very nice. Okay, now how do we... Wait, do we just try and reverse but work back out again? Or can I go here? I feel like if I go here, I'm going to drive over lots of things, but that doesn't matter. Right, around we go. Oi. Okay. Very nice. I look forward to hearing about the colours of the shirt. Oh, wow. Right. And I wonder what colour James thinks Brent's shirt is. It would be quite interesting. James has got, obviously, I think, a really good colour palette, so he'll be able to give you a nice answer there. And he's, well, it's quite fitting because he's also walking through the green grass.
I'm really struggling to bring any kind of emotional attachment to Brent's shirt colour to my morning. I don't care what colour his shirt is. I don't care. Is that bad? Does that make me a psychopath, Chandra?
Well, not that, but
not that, but I am a psychopath. Maybe that's why I don't really care. Anyway, I will tell you as we go down towards this particularly interesting piece of dirt that the loudest laugh in camp, as I'm sure everyone's told you, does in fact belong to Rebecca, and is closely followed by Taylor. There is no other competition. Everyone else laughs in a fairly human manner. They laugh like very enthusiastic witches at times. Okay, so what we have here we go, this is what I was looking for, is a dung pile, and you can see that it has been buried by all the dung beetles. And here is a hole of a dung beetle. Can you see the hole, Chandra? You cannot see it from there. I don't believe you can see it. And so just pop your head over the top there. I'm not going to dig it out, but down in there will be a dung beetle, and the dung beetle, well, it won't actually be a beetle at this stage. It will be a grub, and will look like what we used to call as children cutworms, which are beetle larvae that live under the ground. And they were called cutworms because they used to bite our mother's plant roots. She didn't like cutworms at all, but they were beetle larvae, I've discovered in my adulthood. And that's what you'd find down there if you looked. And so we'll just cover it over nicely. Gorgeous smelling soil, smells of nutrients now because of course the dung has been mixed into it. You can imagine how fertile this piece of soil would be were you to pop a seed in it, for example. It just smells like healthy earth, really. And this dung cycle plays such a massively important role in the fertilization of soils, especially nutrient-poor soils like we find here in the lowveld of South Africa. Did you see where Herbert went? That way. Good. Let's continue along this way. I see him now. So we've done our loop back down towards this drainage line, the Umalawamati drainage. Our golden orbweb spider is just down there, and so we've done a sort of full loop around, haven't found any further tracks, I'm afraid, at this stage, but we will keep trying selflessly until the end of the drive, or walk in our case. We can also do a track here. Jondry, would you like to have a guess at what this track is, quite quietly, in your head? It's Bigfoot. Yes, well done. This is quite a nice track, actually. Let's have a viewer quiz. I don't often do a viewer quiz. What is this track, everybody? #SafariLive or the comment section on YouTube. What is this track? I'll tell you what you should be looking out for. What you should be looking out for is the roundness of the track. You can see that the front, which is this part here, sorry to get in the light like that, Jondry, the front is that part there, and the back is there, and you can see that they are, well, pretty much the same width, slightly splayed. You can see, here's another one over here. Any guesses yet, Rebecca? Any guesses? You might also sometimes, in very deep mud, see two little, what they call dew claws behind, like that. Ah, Romit, you say a kudu. Alas, Romit, no, it is not a kudu. If I was to draw a kudu, and bear in mind I cannot draw, nor especially with my left hand, a kudu would look like that a bit more. That's what one of the lobes would look like. That's a really horrific drawing. A kudu would be slightly longer than that, about that long. And it would be much sharper in the front, and it would be round, similarly to this, but it is not a kudu. Anyone else, Rebecca? Anyone else care to take part in my quiz, or is it only Romert and I playing the quiz? Oh, Rhonda, you say an impala. No, an impala, very sharp pointed, and with a very straight sort of edge to it, much less round than a kudu's even. This is also slightly larger than an impala's. Chris? Steenbok? No, Chris's Steenbok was about half that size, and also very sharp like an impala's. The big thing about this one is how round it is. One more guess, anybody, Rebecca? Oh, Carol. Carol, you say an Inyala. No, it's the right size for an Inyala, but it's a little bit too round. This, everybody, are you ready? Unless there are any more guesses, I'm going to tell you now. Any more, Rebecca? No more guesses. This is a warthog. It's a pig track. And the only reason I know that is that it is very round indeed. Okay? Good. On we go. Well done, everybody, for playing my quiz. Thank you very much for not leaving me hanging. One doesn't want to be left hanging. And I suspect that I think this is a big male warthog, actually. He's come snuffling along here. He's probably got a burrow in a termite mound not too far from here. And I suspect he's come from the pond that we were looking at a little bit earlier. Righty. Let's go across to Brent, who I'm told is out of the Umlwamati. I didn't know that he was in it.
We just decided to have a quick check down the Moati to make sure there weren't any nice fresh tracks there. Now, I'm pretty sure James is also in this general area, and just doing a very slow drive around Vulture's Nest Road, and just hoping for any sign of Tandi. Now, there used to be a rock monitor who used to live in these holes, but I haven't seen him since I've been back. You see his head popping out. There was also a woodlands kingfisher nest in that one hole, and then the rock monitor, I think, ate the eggs, all the babies, and then just decided to stay there for like 3 or 4 months. And after a cool evening, you'd find him sort of just hanging out of the hole, enjoying the morning sun. Now, as I said, I was in town doing some admin. Well, we had to get one of our vehicles a new roadworthy certificate. Not for the game drive vehicles, for the vehicle we used to go in and out of town, collect people from the airport, collect fuel and all that type of stuff. So I spent a night at home with my mother dear, and apparently there's been some comments on my shirt. And so I went and dug out one of my old boxes that's in storage there, and these are some of my old forest shirts from Gabon. So very comfy, breathable fabric. So I thought might as well break them out, add a bit of colour. Now, I'm not sure which Jamie this is. He says it looks like a green M&M, delicious. I hope it's my Jamie. Not my Jamie. Oh dear. I'm joking, Jamie. Rebecca was trying to get there quickly. Not yours, but she wasn't fast enough. Hello, silly bird. Oh, it's disappearing into the grass. The Franklin really is run off. Oh, there's another one. I couldn't see that one. Well spotted, Craig. A little crested Franklin. Busy little bees. Getting along with their day, munching on all the grass. I think we're going to keep slowly moving through this area where we think Tandi might be. But at the same time, I think we're going to focus a bit on our feathered friends. Do some birding. Let's get into a good spot for Craig there. Oh, look. Look what's coming behind us. It's the loudest bird in the Lowveld. Here we go. There she is. She is nuts, isn't she? She's completely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers. Let's go across to Bonkers McCurdy.
Look who we've got. We've got Bonkers Brent in his chameleon green shirt. Can you go invisible, Brent? If you stood up against the tree, Brent, would you disappear? That's what I want to know. Right now, I'm waiting for all the different answers of the colors that you've given Brent's shirt. I think we should have a fun Friday. We're allowed to wear wild clothing. Carol, pea green is your answer. Very nice. Get 6 out of 10 for that answer. Oh, Karen, you've said Dollar Green. Yeah, like that one. Oh, here's my favorite. Oh, Cheryl, Granny Apple. I love that. Granny Apple. Granny Apple is the best one so far. I like Granny Apple. What else? Any others? Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, so most of you are now also wondering if Brent is ready for the rave. Now in South Africa, who's ready to learn a new word today? South African lingo. We don't say rave. Who even says that word anymore? That definitely does not get said in South Africa. We say jol. J-O-L. Going out on the jol. I don't know why. I don't know what it actually means, VM. What does jol mean in Afrikaans? Pay. Play. Oh, yes, to play. Well, yes, I suppose you're playing with adult beverages and things like that. So, yeah, fair enough. Anyways, yeah, no. I'm following Brent now. Should we just stalk him for the rest of Game Drive and just annoy him? Brent loves it when I annoy him. Oh, there's a bird, though. Hello, lilac-breasted roller. Perfectly. So the birds are on my side today. I'm actually not really having to look for them. They're just arriving for us to sort of see. A very pretty one. I love that blue that they have on the side of on their wings there. Look at that. It's absolutely gorgeous. That's really nice. I wouldn't mind a shirt that color. Can I have one of your feathers so I can take it as an example, please? Also, I just think adding that to my feather collection would be fabulous. Very pretty birds, eh? It's amazing how one bird has got so many different colors on it. Really, really so cool. Just sitting up for the moment. I bet waiting for an insect to make a wrong move. Well, there's a fly jumping around on it. It is very beautiful. Hey, Rebecca. It's lovely. Now, I saw some comments about a few of you wanting Rebecca and I to have a laugh off. I don't know how we're going to get that right. We'll have to try and plan it. Perhaps Rebecca will have to come out on a game drive with me. No, that will be a disaster. I know, Bex, but the problem is I can't put you on open comms anymore. Although I could actually just take my earpiece out and you'd probably all be able to hear her very clearly. We'll try and get Bex to come out on a safari one day and we'll have a laugh off. Someone's going to have to tell us a really funny joke or actually a really lame joke works best with Bex. And then we shall see. Now I'm being told to wind myself in again. Okay, there we go. So Bex has now said to Brent that I'm going to trail Brent and then spot all the things that he doesn't see. What else are we going to spot? Ah, look at this marula tree he just missed. Hey? There we go. One in the bag. I bet Brent didn't tell you about that marula tree. It looks like the bottom left-hand side of the tree is being used as a rubbing post. You see all that mud there? That's perfect for the shoulder of a elephant or a really big rhinoceros or a ginormous buffalo. I think it may be elephants that are rubbing up on the side of that. And it's perfect there because they'll come out of the mulwati and there's quite a few mud wallows around here. So nice little scratching post. What else has Brent not seen? If it was Tristan on drive, he'd say there were leopard tracks on the ground that Brent didn't see. I'm pretty sure I drove over leopard tracks this morning and couldn't see them either. That's normal. We always miss. You know, it always amazes me. That road over there. Look how beautiful it is. Don't you think that's very pretty? With all the trees, all the marula trees lining the road. That's just to give you an idea, an aerial view of what the roads look like. And let's take a screenshot here. And in winter, perhaps we can come to this exact same spot and see how different it is when the marulas have no leaves on them, when all the grass is turned yellow and, well, most of the grass has actually just disappeared. So hashtag Safari Live, or you don't have to share it with us now. You can just store it in a folder, and then we'll come back here in a few months' time. Very nice. Right, I'm surprised we haven't bumped into James. I'm sure he was walking around here somewhere. Let's go see if he can smell the bacon sizzling in the pan.
No, you won't find us very easily in a vehicle here. We are in a very deep drainage line where there are no roads. I can't even hear Taylor's car or her fairly loud voice. Here we are in what Jean-André has described as the perfect picnic spot, and I have to say that seldom as this happens, I must agree with him. It is the most perfect picnic spot. I can imagine placing a small blankie here in the shade and having a bacon and egg sandwich of some sort, and perhaps a nice hot cup of coffee to the sound of the crested barbet trilling above me, the Cape turtle dove, and the grey-headed bush shrike. Marvellous. Good. Okay. What we have here is a raisin bush, gruvia, and this particular one, with its square stems, and you see these are square, Jean-André. I'm not sure if it's easy for you. Wait, let me find your piece here. Right, there we are. Now if you look over here, they are square. So they're not round, and that makes this most obviously the sandpaper raisin. The leaves are supposed to be sandpapery, which they are sort of. I think it is a sandpaper raisin. Anyway, it makes, as you can see when I broke it there, the bark is really very good for making string, because it comes off in long lengths normally, and you can plait it together and make fairly strong rope. I've been whistled at. Let's just go across here. I think Herbert's got more tracks in the picnic spot. I mean, isn't this just magnificent? There are tracks here, Herb. Ah, Herbert appears to have found another invisible pug mark. Are you telling me that this is a leopard track here? Is that right? Yeah. And more this side. And unfortunately going back that way. So we've been in the right area the whole day. She might just burst out of the grass. Let's keep going down here. Now, many of these tracks could have been from yesterday. When do you think, Herb? No. She's circling around here, he reckons, hunting. She's gone. They're here. Okay. Herbert reckons that they are right around here, so we'll spend a little bit of time searching here. While we do that, let's go back across to Brent Leo Smith.
Well, it seems like I've hopefully lost Taylor McCurdy. He's going to chase everything away we're looking for. But we've got a nice little bird party. Let's see which ones are going to pop out for us now. Oh. Well. Ah. You see that one at the base of the knobthorn flying there? Kruger?
Yes.
Yeah, I just went that far left branch. Let's see if it pops out again. Where's it gone? Flew into there a second ago. Of course, giving us a hard time as soon as we want to look at it. There it is. Just see a little bit of movement. Come on, pop out. Psst, 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 psst. Looks like a little southern black flycatcher. Not quite as robust as the fork-tailed drongo. I just heard James on the radio. I'm just listening to update. There's a bushshrike. Wait, sorry. I'm just listening to James. I'm going to go give him a hand. So let me go forward for you, Craig. But we're going to go turn around now. Tandi Kile. So I'm afraid we're going to leave the bushshrike for now and head into that area to give James a help. So what often happens, especially it seems with Tandi, although I nearly stood on her 2 weeks ago, sometimes she just keeps ahead of you. So he wants one of us to check nearby. I'm just gonna... Okay. Hold on, big bump. So hopefully we can help James out. James, I'm on Central at the dam. I'm going to head up Garikatla. James thinks that might work. Okay, so we're going to head now there to give James a hand. So obviously Herbie and James think Tandi is very, very close and she might just be moving. It could be Kalamba. Kalamba does that a lot on foot. Just keeps just ahead of you and you can hear all the birds alarming and everything alarming. And unfortunately, in the areas that Tandi has chosen to den and move a lot in, we haven't had the same opportunity to walk Kalamba as we had with Hosana and Shungile. So not quite as relaxed on foot. However, sometimes certain leopards just aren't as relaxed. So I am going to make my way towards near where James is to give him a hand. Let's go see how he's doing right down in the bottom of the drainage line off Garikatlan.
Right, well, this is where you last left us. Herbert's done a bit of a circle around here. He reckons they were playing here and lying on top of the bank over there. And so we're going to go very slowly through here. I'm going to speak very quietly. And we're going to walk with Herbert. Okay, Herbie, you go. You lead on. We can go up this way. Obviously, it is very, very thick in here. Herbert says they're probably watching us, quite possible. You don't want to stand on them. You also don't want to give them a fright. And in fact, he's quite reticent to move in through here because it looks very clearly like they were lying here. So I can hear Brent approaching. I knew it wouldn't take him long. He's just coming along here and he's going to drive in. Herbie will call him now. He's just turned his car off. He's just outside this drainage system. There's a crested barbet way up there if you want to try and get at Jondry. It's quite far. Okay, there we go. Brent is now on the radio with Herbert. I mean, if you look, you're looking there at the I can never say crested barbet. I always want to say like crested roller, the crested barbet. And everything's gone fairly quiet around us, but for one dove. And if you look where Herbert's standing, you can imagine how easy it would be for a leopard to just disappear. And that's why he's moving very, very slowly, very gingerly. Brent is not far. Now, if the cub was younger than it is now, we'd be thinking twice about going through here. Because, you know, Tandi was very protective of her. So let's just keep going through here. You're going to stay with us as we walk through. Very carefully. A leopard just disappears with the ease of a ghost. And then if you manage to corner them by mistake, obviously, then it becomes a little dangerous. But we're in a relatively open part of the drainage system here. So it's probably okay. Brent is trying to find a way in. You can hear the car getting further away, because obviously where we are, there's some very thick bush between us and the road. I mean, it just is the most magnificent areas. And you'll excuse me not looking at you in the eye. Nikki, you say, do I ever get nervous on bushwalk? Yeah, I do. It's a good thing to get a little bit nervous. So somebody said to me once, a very sort of important mentor in my life, he said, terror or fear, real fear, will make you react in a less than considered fashion. But complacency will do just as much harm. And so it's always nice to be just a little bit weary when you walk in the bush here. And, you know, when Herbert says we're close to a leopardess and her cub, yeah, just kind of squeaks out a little bit of adrenaline, keeps me alert, raises the heart rate, stops the digestive process, raises the anxiety level slightly. Glucocorticoids start flowing through the body. You can tell I'm reading a book on stress at the moment. Okay, now Brent. In fact, there are two vehicles in here now. Let's try and figure out what's going on. While we do that, let's go back across to Taylor. I don't know where she is or what she's doing.
Also sealed, really awkward smile that I sometimes do. We're not doing anything. VM and I are discussing how we're going to take this vehicle straight to Opar once the safari ends, and we're trying to not go too far away from home in case it just breaks. As there's something wrong with it. Might not be anything too serious, but it's making a squeaking noise. It's now stopped again, but like not a nice squeaking noise. It sort of makes me cringe every time it does that. So we're going to jump onto Ingwe Alley now and check the mud wallows. Maybe there's some buffalo laying in them. Perhaps some warthogs have ventured out from their burrows. Well, we can only hope, and I hope that we do get Tandi for the last 10 minutes of drive. Wouldn't that be spectacular? I bet you'd all be very happy, seeing as though we didn't have a cat today. However, it was nice to see wild dogs and hyenas, though. That was really cool. This is the sound. Don't know why it's doing that. We just keep driving. We pretend. We just ignore it. No, it's not a good sound. Hey, Rebecca, it's not great. It comes and goes. It comes and goes. Nothing has fallen off yet, or that we've noticed. So we have just been taking it very easy, except when I raced to the wild dogs. But I didn't off-road, though. I was just staying on the road, so that was fun. We did bounce around quite a bit. That was fun. Love a Ferrari safari. I actually think if I could redo life, I'd be a rally driver. I'd want to try and be a rally driver. I would need someone to pop that seed into my brain at a very young age so I could harp my parents to teach me, get someone to teach me about rally driving. That would be what I'd want to do. I think it would be so much fun. After my time in Kenya, and I went to Watamu and I got to spend like a week with these professional rally drivers. It was so cool. No, Bex, I think I'd have to choose someone else, unfortunately. Bex has just offered to be my map reader. VM, no, I'm only joking. Bex, you can totally be my map reader. Hey? And then VM has just offered to be the head mechanic, make sure the vehicle's in tip-top shape, running perfectly. That was actually quite a cool job. I was kind of envious of these guys. Basically, they just get to travel around for the very, very, very wealthy in the world and build them rally cars, and then they go and race them, and they get taken all sorts of amazing places. So cool. Maybe I could also come back and do that and be a mechanic. Jamie would have to teach me though. I don't know how to handle a car underneath the hood very well. So that would be quite cool. Can you imagine? I think it would get really hot. I'd have to have short hair as well, because I don't think a ponytail would work too well in that helmet. But that was so much fun. Man, I just want to go fast all the time. Not in my own car. I drive not quickly like that. Also, my car is now not a nice car to drift around in the mud. These are exceptionally fun. These little cars in the Mara would have been amazing. We would never have got stuck. I think we'd just zip through all the ruts and things like that, and we're quite high up as well. And that would have been really, really nice. Where are the animals? Because there are none here. Nothing. Maybe if we clap or whistle, they'll all come out. No, that didn't work. Like, I'm surprised that didn't work. We're just doing loops now. Perhaps I'll go up and down on the dam wall and wave to all of you who are watching the dam cam as well. Is there anything interesting happening at the dam? No? Yes? We did drive over the wall. You may have seen VM and I. There was not even a bone left from that Impala carcass, and the horns were gone. Wonder who took the horns. Anyways. Right, so James has been sneaking around in the bush while Brent Bundu bashes. Let's go and see if they're any closer to finding those leopards.
We have been sneaking over here. You can look down into the drainage system there, and you can imagine that they could easily be hiding somewhere in that thick stuff there. There are no tracks going north. Brent is trying to get into this drainage system, but I don't think that he's going to manage, because it's just simply there's simply too many trees in the way. So we're going to continue along the western bank of this drainage system, of this river, basically, for the next 10 minutes. That's all we've got left, I'm afraid, and we'll see if we don't get lucky. You can see, though, from the steepness of this bank, that this must have flowed at some time. Chris, you wonder if humans smell tasty or bad to animals. I'm not sure it's as simple as that, Chris, but they smell us as predators. I mean, they don't like the smell of human beings, so I guess you could say they smell bad. Do they smell like body odor, which offends us because it's an indication of bacteria? No, I don't think that that's necessarily what they think. They associate us with fear and hunting, though, in the same way as they would associate, say, an impala would associate the smell of a lion with fear and death. But I don't think we smell bad necessarily. Some people smell very bad, and I'm sure as bad as they smell to me, they would smell to the animals. You know, that sort of cheesy odor mixed with onions that some people manage to exude. Now, Brenty is just trying to get through some thick bush, so we can't go and find out where he is. His aerial is down. Listen. It's a grey-headed bushwhack snapping its beak. I don't know if you're managing to hear that, are you? Normally they go. Becca says it sounds like a metronome. Well, it's not a very regular metronome. But yes, I see what you mean. So we're just going to gently make our way along here. If I see anything of biological significance or interest, I will tell you immediately. He's now got tracks. Tracks. She's going south from here, along the western bank. I just wonder if we shouldn't tell Brent. Bex, can I ask you to tell Brent that we have tracks going south on the western bank? So I think where he is now. He's probably... I'm too scared to tell him that he's probably wasting his time where he is now. I just heard him emerge into the drainage system. But I think Herbie's right. I think they heard us coming down into that picnic spot area. But just look at this area. If you were a leopard, I'm sure this is where you'd like to spend time. As a human being, I'd like to spend time here. Andre, are you right down here on this bank? He says he's okay. He's got some grippy boots on, which is good. Now, it's a common sort of misconception that leopards and their ilk will move in the middle of a drainage system like this. It makes them quite obvious to see. You're right. You don't look right. Sorry, let me just move this thing up the way for you. There you go. But most of the time... So, okay, there we go. Let's get out of here. I'll tell you what I was going to tell you later. Let's go back to Brent. He is in the drainage line.
So we're not very far from James. I know a little secret spot that gets us down into this little riverbed. So we're in the area where James and Herbie think she is. So we're just going to keep moving very, very slowly. And of course you can see how thick and grassy it is in here. So they could be lying right next to us at any moment. And hopefully, even if we don't find her before the end of the sunrise safari, hopefully we'll have her for this afternoon. So I'm still just talking very quietly. I'm also listening to see if there's any bird alarm calls. Might give me a clue where they might be. Okay, I'm going to keep heading towards the south through here. In the meantime, it sounds like James has rescued Gendre from whatever he was stuck on.
Well, I've tried to rescue Gendre, and what I'm going to do is just walk with Herbie along here and see if we don't get lucky. And this will just give you a perspective of how tall the banks are here and, you know, the myriad places that a leopard could be hiding. We'll walk gently along this way. Gendre will try and track me along the top of the bank there. But I'm afraid I think our time for finding this cat is probably up. I can hear Brent behind us. Yeah. I don't think we're going to be lucky today, I'm afraid. Are you able to move along there? Yeah, here comes Gendre. We'll just keep going. Kalani, you say you've never seen a bushwalk go this deep. It's very cool but very scary. The idea is not that it's scary. The idea is that it's, there's a sense of anticipation, obviously. We're walking through some very thick bush on the fresh tracks of a leopardess and her cub. But the idea is just that there's a sense of anticipation, which of course there is, an excitement that we could be about to find a spotted cat. But for me, what is so special about it is the size of the huge trees all around us and the sense of history I get from standing in a dry river. Because for it to have been scoured out like this, there must have been countless years when it was flowing. And I just find that really enthralling. Okay, everyone, that's going to be it from us today, or this morning. We will see you this afternoon, of course, at the normal time. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a joy to have you with us. Your questions and comments, as always, hugely welcomed. And I must say it's been a great pleasure to be on foot with John Dree once again. He can't hear me complimenting him from the distance that he is. We'll see you later. Until then, bye-bye.